Coming soon to own on
YouTube and Twitch.
The episode that solved the SpongeBob paradox. Now, this is probably gonna be a long one, so let's go ahead, lock in.
How can one sponge be this happy all the time? He's failed his boating test for 20 years straight. He gets underpaid, overworked, and yelled at by his boss every
But shit, he do that shit for the love of his game, the love of the game, bro.
single day. He's surrounded by people who use him, ignore him, or flat out hate him, and somehow he just keeps smiling. Every single time. But the more I thought about it, the less sense it makes, because no one stays that happy forever.
I mean, there's been moments where he's been like depressed, sad, and he cries a lot.
I refuse to believe that it was all about blind optimism. After all, a man's got to stand up for himself sometimes, you know?
Stand up for yourself, man! You need thicker skin!
But everything just made sense after rewatching one particular episode. The one
Talk
that
to me, sir.
finally shows us SpongeBob's true face. A face that SpongeBob himself almost never lets us see, and maybe for a good reason.
His
Because after
backbone.
watching this episode again, I realized this is the one that finally solves SpongeBob's paradox. The one that reveals his true hidden self, his abrasive side. The episode opens with a classic, SpongeBob's cheerful and weird morning routine. The sun rises and SpongeBob is already outside, sleeping in line just to catch the first bus to Glove World. He even talks to another fish in line about the idea.
I spent the night. That's how you get the best spot around here.
But the
That spot on the bus.
salary fish doesn't give a single damn about it. He just goes,
Say, do you mind if I cut in front of you?
and in classic SpongeBob fashion, he lets the fish cut in line. He's just too kind for his own good. I mean, it makes your entire night of sleeping at the bus stop meaningless, doesn't it? He's even
100%.
apologizing to the people cutting in front of him. And one by one, SpongeBob gets further and further from the front. People take advantage and SpongeBob just smiles through it. Even when Patrick shows up, angry that SpongeBob broke his firsties promise, SpongeBob doesn't argue. He just blames himself. He accepts the guilt and just tries to see the bright side of it.
But we'll still be on the first bus to Glove World.
But as they're about to get on the bus, Sandy approaches him and says she wants to run an experiment and needs somebody to be a test monkey.
SpongeBob, please.
So, SpongeBob folds again. He gives up his long-awaited Glove World trip just so he can help make
Yeah, me personally, that would have been a fuck no. Nigga, I'm going to Glove World. We could do that another day.
acorn smoothies for his friend.
Oh yeah, 100%. I was not doing this, bitch. You're the squirrel. Your ass could have been on here.
SpongeBob is finally about to catch up with Patrick, but this time, it's Krabs that approaches him at the bus stop. Krabs tells him he needs help telling Pearl no to buying more shoes.
Pearl, about those shoes? No.
No! Then even his grandma suddenly needs help to cross the
See, I would have said no to all of them, but the grandma. The grandma's probably the only one you gotta actually help.
street. Well, I guess that's fine. You can't really say no to your sweet old grandma.
You can't say no to that.
Always help your elders, kids. Unfortunately, this causes SpongeBob to miss all the buses, whereas Patrick has already come back from Glove World. After yet another apology, Patrick looks at him and says,
You need to learn to say no.
and right there is the premise of the episode. Because SpongeBob's about to get exactly that, a thicker skin. But it's not going to look the way
Backbone.
you expect. Later that day, he finally breaks. He sits in his house, crying out loud to Gary, saying that he can't stand up for himself and he needs to grow a thicker skin. So Gary, being the always intelligent and understanding pet, obliges. A package arrives at his door.
Man, shout out to
Turns
Gary.
It's an abrasive side that Gary ordered just a moment ago.
Toughen it up with a new abrasive side.
On paper, this is the perfect gadget for him. An attachment designed to make a sponge tougher to help scrub away people. So, without hesitation, SpongeBob puts it on his back. And the change is instant.
Bottom feeder. See ya, Gary.
It's like flipping a switch. He turns around and just starts roasting people. At first, the abrasive side does its job perfectly. He starts saying no to everyone, the fish with groceries, to Larry.
Could you help me carry my groceries?
Carry him yourself, fish face.
How about a little help with this suntan lotion, huh?
Don't you think you've had enough?
But each time he says it, the tone gets meaner and colder.
See, now he moving like an asshole.
It's like SpongeBob finally got to say the things he's been holding inside all this time.
No can do, you brainless lab rat.
I need you
Now, see, now he wildin'. A simple no would suffice.
to work an extra 17-hour shift tonight.
Sorry, Krabs, I'm busy. Unless you're paying me overtime.
And that's where things start to shift. Because the people around him, his friends, don't just get offended. They treat this abrasive SpongeBob like a threat, because they've never really seen SpongeBob roast people like that. He's not that guy. Meanwhile, Squidward, the one person who's always wanted SpongeBob to leave him alone, now hugs him for finally being mean.
I wouldn't hang out with you for all the money in Krabs' mattress.
You don't know how long I've waited to hear those.
He found his
It's kind
twin.
of ironic, but the real damage happens when SpongeBob turns on Patrick. Because not long after, Patrick comes for their playtime and SpongeBob just says,
So beat it, Tubby. I don't care for your company.
Yeah, see,
It's
like that
just
was mean.
pure contempt. And this is where the Green Goblin's drama begins. SpongeBob, for one, doesn't really understand why Patrick is crying. Meanwhile, the abrasive side just can't stop taunting him.
Don't you remember? We told that pink freak to beat it.
That's when SpongeBob screams in fear, because the abrasive side finally said too much. From here on, things spiral fast. He tries asking Patrick for help, but Patrick is just too scared of getting roasted again. He's also been banned from the Krusty Krab for demanding fair wages.
Insane work, by the way.
But luckily, Sandy actually listens to him despite what happened before and agrees to help. So SpongeBob braces for the impact and grabs onto something heavy, and Sandy starts to tear off his abrasive side.
God damn, look at them forearms. She got that manly ass grip.
You crazy bushy-tailed rodent. Hey!
Ooh.
To be honest, the scene feels more like an exorcism than a fix. But everything's back to normal again. SpongeBob's sweet again, soft again, harmless again. Everyone's relieved. But the last scene says something else.
Grandma got
It
it.
ends with the patch, the abrasive side, being mailed back to its sender, only for it to attach itself to someone else.
Wait, return to sender. So that means the grandma sent it?
SpongeBob's grandma.
Make your own hot cocoa. I am busy.
The ending feels a little unsettling, doesn't it? Because if you really think about it, that whole story barely makes any sense. SpongeBob's abrasive side wasn't a villain, it was him all along. It spoke like him, thought like him, even remembered things he didn't want to admit. It's almost like the patch just showed us something he's been hiding. But what's this really about? Does SpongeBob really need the abrasive side in the first place? And why was everyone, including him, terrified of it? And more importantly, you might be asking, how could this episode solve the SpongeBob paradox? Well,
Talk to
because
me.
the abrasive side is just another mask for SpongeBob's personality. Another mask, you say? Then what's the first one? The answer seems obvious, right? It's the smile. That constant, unbreakable cheerfulness that SpongeBob wears every day. As I said before, the plot for this episode didn't really have a moral story. Or it did have a moral story, just one that was a bit messed up. So when you go back and watch the episode again, SpongeBob never really did anything wrong here. Sandy, Krabs, Larry, and all the random fish just selfishly pull him in every direction, all while he's desperately trying to get to Glove World. They see him struggling, but they ask anyway, because they know exactly how he'll respond. SpongeBob will say yes. We've seen this version of him for years, the one who keeps his cool no matter what happens. He fails his boating test hundreds of times, is
Pushover,
yelled
man.
at every single day, is constantly roasted by Squidward, and still wakes up every morning shouting, "I'm ready!" We just kind of accept it as his identity, that his entire existence revolves around being cheerful. But if you take a closer look, his positivity doesn't look like normal optimism. Optimism, real optimism, grows and bends with experience. It's messy, sometimes emotional, and sometimes involves denial. But SpongeBob's version rarely bends, if at all. It's like he's on a mission, one he simply can't change. And if that sounds strange, think back to Abrasive Side. Everyone around him is so used to asking him to do any ridiculous thing that they want, because deep down they know that SpongeBob's happiness will stay intact however they abuse the poor guy. So they
'Cause
just
he'll always
panic the
do it.
moment he stops being overly nice. That idea sounds pretty heavy for a kid's cartoon, but it fits disturbingly well. The whole show needs SpongeBob's optimism to function. So maybe SpongeBob understands that too. Maybe he knows on some level that he has to keep smiling, that his happiness isn't just a feeling, it's his job. You could argue that SpongeBob's constant, unshakable joy is kind of his plot device to some extent. In
Yeah, you could definitely say
a
that.
town full of lunatics, you can't have a main character who is totally rational and anchored in logic. Otherwise, he would just complain about everything all the time. Then they might as well call the show Squidward Fear
Squidward.
the Tentacles.
Yeah.
Who lives in a monument under the sea?
Jokes aside,
Squidward
it's an interesting
tentacles.
point, but I'll talk about that more later in the video. For now, my point is, SpongeBob's never-ending optimism starts to make this whole situation feel a little less wholesome. Because when you look through older episodes, there are
Help wanted
lots of
Banky
subtle moments
Sperm.
showing how aware SpongeBob actually is, unlike Patrick. SpongeBob has a lot of smarty pants moments in the show.
But like SpongeBob not dumb. It's more or less he's slow to like social cues sometimes, or like I feel like he's not dumb like how the Patrick's dumb. You know, he's dumb in a different sense.
For this dollar. Do you want 4 quarters, or 10 dimes, or 20 nickels, or 100 pennies, or 1 quarter, 3 dimes, 7 nickels, and 10 pennies? Or if you give me a $5 bill, your options are. All right, goodbye.
He's more than capable of doing complex math. He can do karate, like in Karate Choppers. He has a good sense of humor, enough to perform a stand-up session, like in Culture Shock. He's gifted in art and music, as we see in Unknown Artist and Band Geeks. What's even more mind-bending
Nigga's just an
is
all-around
that
talent.
no ordinary guy would just turn up and claim the title of the best fry cook in town on his first shift, right?
Hmm.
So when he plays dumb or cheerful to the point of absurdity, maybe it's his choice. He's learned that in Bikini Bottom, being too smart or too serious only leads to misery. Squidward's the
Like Schoolwork, yep.
perfect example. He's intelligent, logical, and completely miserable because of it. So SpongeBob does the opposite. He pretends not to notice how unfair things are. He overcompensates with smiles and laughter, keeping his world bright and predictable. And in Abrasive Side, when that fake calm finally cracks, we see the first glimpse of what happens when the mask slips.
So the abrasive side, like he's been saying earlier, is
The
the
personality that
SpongeBob.
emerges,
That's him.
cold, sharp, brutally honest, doesn't come from nowhere. It's been buried under the cheer for years. Now, some of you might feel that what I'm saying is a bit of a leap. I mean, how dare you say that one of the most optimistic characters under the sea has been a fake all along? What proof do you have? But as it
Let me
turns
see.
out,
Let me see the
there
evidence.
are a lot of moments where he shows how smart or frustrated he really is, only to be miserable. You could start anywhere, but let's have a look at Can You Spare a Dime? In this episode, Mr. Krabs accuses Squidward of stealing his ancient dime, fires him, and kicks him out.
But if it was an ancient dime, why are you keeping it in the cash register?
Not long after, Squidward becomes homeless, and SpongeBob, being the kind-hearted friend that he is, takes
Took him
Squidward
in.
in. At first, he's patient, encouraging even. He cooks for him, gives him space, and goes as far as playing maid for him.
Which I'm not doing. If you stand in my house, nigga, you better be lucky you even get a blanket, nigga.
But as days pass and Squidward keeps taking advantage of him, the frustration starts to build. And when it finally bursts, it's one of the only times in the entire series where we see SpongeBob lose control.
Listen, you cross-anxious cheapskate! Squidward's been living at my house, driving me crazy!
Who would have thought SpongeBob is
Us
capable
his
of
shit,
poking
man.
his boss like that? SpongeBob even calls Krabs a crustaceous cheapskate. SpongeBob's aware that his boss has been a petty businessman all along. He's just rolling along with it. Then there's Krusty Love. SpongeBob spends the whole episode helping Mr. Krabs impress Mrs. Puff, running errands, managing disasters, even cleaning up after the chaos. At first, he's polite, as always, until Krabs' indecisiveness pushes him too far. And suddenly, SpongeBob snaps again.
You want me to run down to the store and buy Mrs. Puff something she doesn't need?
But this low-key a crazy episode when you think about it. This is like the only time Mr. Krabs really splurged on some shit willingly. Like he ain't even do this shit for his own daughter.
He starts rambling in frustration, mocking Mr. Krabs for his fear, roasting him to his face for being weak and inconsistent. And let's not forget about I'm with Stupid. This time, SpongeBob wanted to help Patrick impress his parents by trying to make him look smart. But instead of helping, Patrick humiliates SpongeBob in front of them, pretending he's the idiot. The joke goes too far and SpongeBob finally breaks. He stops smiling, stops playing along, and throws
Shit ain't
himself
funny
through
no
his
more.
own front door in despair. The audience laughs, of course, but it's one of the most honest reactions we've ever seen from him. He's trying to physically escape the humiliation. So I think SpongeBob's smart enough to understand the reality of this world, so he chooses to play it safe. He chooses stupidity, he chooses
That's fair.
simplicity, he chooses to smile because the alternative is living like Squidward, intelligent, aware, and absolutely broken. That's
Very
why I
much
said
fair.
Abrasive Side really just shows his true nature that was hiding underneath. That tougher skin he puts on didn't give him new power to roast people, it only released everything he'd been suppressing. It was the moment SpongeBob stopped pretending. But the city couldn't handle that version of him, so, like every other time, SpongeBob himself forces a reset. He asked Sandy to remove the abrasive side before everyone started turning on him. Sadly, the twist doesn't stop there. After abrasive side in season 7, SpongeBob doesn't go back to normal. Over time, he gets stranger, louder, less genuine, more self-centered. Especially in later seasons, his cheerfulness starts to feel exaggerated, almost manic. He laughs harder, almost obnoxiously. I mean, he's not acting out of innocence anymore.
He's
doing
forcing it.
because deep down, he realized something that day. It's easier and safer to be the problem than to be the victim. And so, he became
Don't take that advice in real life. That's crazy advice.
both. The perfect smiling sponge who can't be hurt, and the perfect little tormentor who makes sure no one else dares to wake him up again. One of the recurring topics I like to talk about on this channel is how modern SpongeBob has changed. I've made some videos about it, and if you've watched them, you'll know how much I despise the theme of SpongeBob torturing Squidward in the later seasons. Episodes like Plain to See, Squid's Ink, and Squid Baby are the kind that make you stop and think, wasn't this guy supposed to be the nice one? And now, while we're on the topic, maybe it was SpongeBob's.
But like when you low-key think about it, if the theory is true, SpongeBob is actually smarter than he acts. Nigga, he knows all the shit talking and all the names, all the shit that Squidward throws at him. I think that's just him getting his lick back. Like like subliminally, he's getting his lick back for all the slick shit Squidward be saying to him. I think that's what it is.
Decision all along. When Sandy tears the rough side off him in abrasive side, SpongeBob screams. And sure, that could just be slapstick pain, but if you look at it symbolically, it's almost tragic. She's ripping away a piece of him that holds him back from his true nature, the side that gets angry, and the side that knows when he's being used. So when that piece is gone, something in SpongeBob changes. He smiles when Squidward suffers, he starts to toy with people instead of helping them. He laughs louder, pushes boundaries harder, like he's secretly testing how much chaos the world will let him get away with. That's why after season 7, I think SpongeBob didn't really get dumber. Maybe he just got more comfortable playing the new role. He finally accepted what the abrasive side showed him. If the world is going to treat you like a fool, you may as well play the part, and have fun doing it. Again, I can already hear you guys screaming, what the hell? Now you're saying SpongeBob abused Squidward on purpose?
Shit, nigga, all this shit Squidward be saying about SpongeBob, if he's really smarter than he is, I think it's just him getting his lick back. I think it's all fair enough, in all
Well, let me
honesty.
tell you, this isn't new behavior. SpongeBob has been playing this game since day one, only with a different approach. In season 1's The Paper, he spends an entire episode turning a worthless scrap of paper into a miracle of fun right in front of Squidward. He knows Squidward can't stand being left out, and he leans into it until Squidward trades away everything he owns. And just when Squidward finally breaks, Patrick strolls in, uses the paper to wipe off some gum, and the whole joke collapses on him. SpongeBob never apologizes once, he just smiles. What about that one time where Squidward pulls an April Fool's prank so humiliating to the poor guy that he basically gets canceled for it? Only to
Nah, cause that was a wild ass prank. You put a nigga in a trash can and dump trash all over him in front of everybody too. That was crazy as hell.
find out later that it was all just a massive prank planned by the entire town, including SpongeBob. Then there's the camping episode, where he gaslights Squidward into baiting the sea bear with a sombrero, only to watch him get beaten repeatedly. Or in Squid's Day Off, where he makes Squidward think he's about to destroy the Krusty Krab, when Squidward isn't even there. The list could go on, but the point still stands. SpongeBob is gaslighting Squidward on purpose, making him think he's won, only to twist it back around. And what makes it worse is how calm SpongeBob is about it. He never looks evil doing it, just amused. Maybe that's why we never suspected him. It's almost poetic, isn't it? The happiest character in
Yeah.
animation turns out to be the one who understands pain the best. That's the truth Abrasive Sight accidentally exposed. It revealed the one who's always been there, just beneath the laughter. So, next time you see him grinning behind the grill, scrubbing floors for free, or singing about how wonderful life
See, nigga, I don't give a fuck how much of I gotta play my role I am, nigga. I'm not doing all this work for free. You better pay me.
is, remember, he's planning something. And maybe deep down he's not keeping that smile for everyone else. He's keeping it for himself. Who knows?
Maybe.
Well, there you have it. You came here looking for the episode.
Well, that was the episode that's called the SpongeBob Paradox. Let me know how y'all feel about that down below.